to take opposing views, yes or no?
Sure. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with yes.
You want CJ?
I mean, obviously it's not, I'm more of a no. You want me to go no and you go yes? You're probably closer to yes than I am, so
Yeah.
you go yes.
Okay, yes. All right, Vic, let's talk a little New York baseball Yankees.
Yes,
Okay?
good guys.
The good guys. New York good guys. New York fits a big, that's our core, is the New York Yankees. Obviously, if you follow the
That's our comfort zone.
Yeah, we love talking about the Yankees. We can't wait for the season to start up, though we're loving what's going on with the New York football Giants. But the big thing, Cashman has said it, we needed it in the playoffs. We need to work on our rotation. We need to solidify it. I mean, if you look right here, this is probably, as of today, if we don't make any more crazy acquisitions, being that this guy's coming back, Freddie Garcia's coming back, this will probably be our 5-man rotation come next April. Now, let's assume we don't want Garcia starting 36 games this season. I don't want that. You probably don't want that. So we're going to get...
I don't think he can.
I mean, he can. But he will be on the team. I mean, it looks like he's going to get something.
Like,
yeah, which I'm okay with. I am okay with that. We need every team needs a long man.
The Dipsy Doodler.
Right, Dipsy Doodler. Now, who do we want? I don't want to say the number 5 spot because I don't want to bring in another 5th starter.
Correct.
But I want to find a pitcher that comes right around here, 2-3. Okay. Who do you want here in the Freddie Garcia spot? And I'm just going to throw out a name. The hot name has been C.J. Wilson. Do you want him in this area?
So if you have one rotation spot to give, do I want to give it to C.J. Wilson? I say no.
Okay.
I recognize that he put out there, or his agent put out there, that $75 million will get you C.J. Wilson. That's the starting bid. I get it. Affordable for a Yankee.
Affordable.
I understand that if we lock up C.J. Wilson, play ball tomorrow. We've got our 5-man/6-man rotation in play. Time to move forward. But my point is, if I've got one rotation spot to burn, if I'm a New York Yankee, I'm going to try to bring in a true ace. Someone who's got a higher ceiling than C.J. Wilson, even if they're potentially a little bit older. Or bring in someone who I can absolutely count on to be that durable of a 3, 4, or 5 starter. So at this point, I'd say C.J. Wilson's not my pick for the one rotation spot.
Now, I'm going to, before I get into how I disagree with you, because I do disagree with you, the answer here is yes.
Yeah.
You say you want an ace, the number 1. I mean, as far as I'm looking at the market right now, there's very few, if any, meaning 0, aces that are free agents right now.
Free agents.
That are, ripe to be plucked, so to speak. So before I get into explaining as to why you're wrong, who's that number 1 that you think we can get?
I think we can probably manhandle a guy like Zach Greinke away. With the fact that they're going to lose Prince Fielder, you potentially, if you wow them with a first base prospect, maybe another pitching prospect, you can probably wrestle away someone like Zach Greinke, who I can see sliding into a number 2 spot or number 3 spot. Someone like that, I do think that it's really up to someone like a Brian Cashman to get creative and not just go after free agents.
Well, I get what you're saying, and I agree. I'd love to see a guy like Greinke on the team. But the problem is with where the aces are right now, around, if you look around the league, either the teams want too much, as far as I'm concerned, and Ben Cashman probably concerned too, or they just don't make sense for the other team to trade him away. And I think Greinke's on this side of doesn't make sense for the Brewers to trade him away. They were in the playoffs this year. They're probably going to lose Fielder. Got it. But they still have the great Ryan Braun. They still have that Weeks guy, or Jimmy Weeks, whatever his name is. He's a pretty good player.
Jamil Weeks.
I mean, I don't think they want to give up on 2012 yet. Maybe he's a deadline deal guy, but I don't think he's a March guy or a winter hot stove guy. So what I'm going to say is the guy we need to go after is C.J. Wilson, because I'm trying to be a little practical here. And as the Yankees, you always want to say you can pluck whoever you want by trading prospects or throwing enough money at it. But I'm trying to be smart here. The best free agent pitcher available is C.J. Wilson. He's had 2 very good years. He's pitched in the playoffs the last 2 years, and I know if you're hearing that, you're screaming he had a horrible playoffs this year. It wasn't great. I got it. How good did our guys do in the playoffs this year? Enough said. You know what? So bring him in. He fits right in here as a number 2. Okay, you take a little stress off Ivan Nova. You said his agent is not asking for all that much money. His starting ground in 5 years, $75 million. That's nothing for us. Blow him out of the water with 6 years, 105. Let's get him on board. Let's play ball.
Now you threw a little curveball at me because the purpose of this post was if you have one rotation spot, do give it to CJ Wilson. Comparing him to kind of the rest of the market, I think we'll do another post for that
Right, we will.
Shortly. Generally speaking, I still lean towards no if I've got one spot. I don't give it to CJ Wilson because I do think there's other options out there that are either more durable or have a higher ceiling.
Then I think if you want to go your angle of let's do whatever it takes to make a big trade, then I'll go past Greinke and I'll go who I think is the only achievable starter here this offseason, which is King Felix.
Okay.
Oh, you weren't going to agree with that?
No, I thought I was going to go with Clayton Kershaw because the Dodgers you would think would have a fire sale.
Another, as far as I'm concerned, another deadline deal guy. So playing the weak NL West, I think even with a moderate increase to that team, regardless of payroll, even with the same team, with the way the NL West teams are, any of them could win 86 games and win the division. So I don't think the Dodgers are going to give up. I'd like to see Kershaw. He's the one who I'd like to see probably the most. But yeah, I think King Felix is still hanging out there. He's another year closer to free agency. And you know what? And now if we got Austin Romine, we want to move for him. Somebody else,
Austin Romine for King Felix.
Well, I'm saying, and somebody else. We got
it's gonna have to be like everybody else.
Everybody else except for Jesus Montero. That's fine. But I mean, they wanted Montero. We didn't want to move Montero because we didn't know if he was the real deal. He's the real deal.
So we might as well open up this post to all the other options out there, right?
We
might as well. We might as well.
We could do that.
We might as well. I would rather have Burley than CJ Wilson because I want the most durable guy, the guy I can absolutely count on to lock down the number 4 spot, period. I can't count on CJ Wilson.
But see, I don't want the guy who can lock down the number 4 spot. I want the guy who can knock down the 1 or 2 spot who I'm going to rely on in the playoffs.
Which I don't think is CJ Wilson. That's my point. I can't rely on CJ Wilson because he did horrible in the playoffs. And I don't think his stuff translates to that.
And I can't say the same thing for Mark Burley because he's never been the overpowering pitcher enough to where I can say, okay, game 2 starter, he's going to take it. He's not.
No,
I mean, he's
definitely not.
Yeah, he's the you get the game 6 start because everybody else is tired.
Exactly. My point is, if you're going to go with the middling pitcher, who I believe C.J. Wilson is in the American League East and in the playoffs, you go with the middling pitcher. Give me Mark Burley because he is Mr. Durability. If you're going to go with a higher ceiling, you've got Roy Oswald out there. If you're going to go with a trade high ceiling, how about the fact that Grapevine, San Francisco Giants are, I'm not going to say rumored, but are being encouraged by the Grapevine to trade Lincecum for someone like Montero in a package because they need offense.
That deal I make.
Right.
That deal I make.
King Felix, we keep hearing is a no-go. Absolutely, I would give up anyone for any more prospects, including Montero, for King Felix. So I'm with you. To me, if you have one position to give, I don't go with C.J. Wilson because he's not the guy that you want to tie your reins to into the playoffs.
You know what? I don't see why not at this point. I get it. He had a short postseason where he didn't do so well. I get the argument.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many players on the Yankees have had a bad postseason, and we keep throwing them out there? Nick Swisher, for an example, just horrible postseason after postseason. I don't think we've seen enough. AJ, yeah, I mean,
Tex, A-Rod.
And the list goes on and on. I mean,
Jeter.
Go back a couple of
Recent
years.
Jeter.
Yeah, recent Jeter. So that's rough for the team. But what I'm saying is C.J. Wilson is not the youngest guy, but he's only been a starter for a couple of years, which some could say is a knock against him. Others, like Fitz, can say that's a benefit because he hasn't thrown the 230 innings multiple years in a row. Yeah. So he's still got a
might
useful...
be a 40-year-old starter down the road.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. And good for him, and good for him even more if he's pitching for the New York Yankees.
And to your point before, not only has Mark Burley never been overpowering, but he's got an 84-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, we don't need another Freddie Garcia on the team.
We don't. You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to.
9 minutes.